I'm Mark Rodgers with Hillcrest Farms, a third-generation dairyman with 4 generations presently working on our farm. Dairy farm, 3 things are going to always happen, no matter who you are. Some dairy farmers have other people raise their crops or their calves or whatever, but all dairy farms have to, first of all, milk their cows. Second of all, we have to feed them that nutritious feed to get the milk that we get out of them. And third of all, we have to do something with the nutrients they produce. Some people call it waste, we call them nutrients. We're going to use it as fertilizer to put back on our fields to grow the crops that we feed our cows to produce the milk.
We produce 3 major forages. Corn is our #1 forage. We produce about 350 acres of corn. The other major forage that we grow is Sudan sorghum or either brown midrib sorghum. The third forage that we produce is ryegrass. Ryegrass is grown in the wintertime, so when we cut off the sorghums and the corns, we go back and plant ryegrass.
50% of what they eat, basically, we grow here on our farm. The other half is purchased. And in that way, we work with other local farmers, other Georgia farmers, in that we buy local cottonseed. We buy citrus pulp from Florida, dry distillers from breweries nearby. We blend all these together to provide the best, most nutritious feed that we can for our cows.
But this is something that otherwise would be discarded if we didn't feed it to ruminants. Dairy cows, beef cows can take things like this and convert them into usable nutrients to make milk, meat, sustain a calf, grow. You can't feed this to other species of livestock or humans. They can't get anything out of it. A cow is the best recycler because she can take all of these byproducts, such as distillers grains and citrus pulp and soy hulls and cottonseed hulls and whole cottonseed, things like that that other species couldn't eat, but the cow can take it and convert it into usable nutrients.
Silage is basically any fodder crop that you chop and preserve, where we're taking the whole plant and not just the head off the top. We cut it into very small pieces, approximately 1 inch long, and we put it in a hole in the ground, or either some people do a drive over pile or an upright silo. But basically, you're trying to put it in an environment where there is no oxygen. You're getting rid of the oxygen just like canning a can of beans. You put the beans in there, you seal it up. When there is no oxygen, then it is preserved. So it's a tool that we use to produce milk for a lower price.
These cows here are eating probably 112 pounds per cow per day. They eat a lot of feed to give as much milk as they give. When we milk a cow, we're trying to get the milk when she wants to give it to us, okay? It's not like we're pulling the milk from the cow. The milking unit goes onto the cow, and everything there is automated. We're going to prep the cow. We're going to make sure she's disinfected, very clean. Human hands never touch this milk. So then we're going to attach this milker after we prep her, and it's going to stay on until her flow rate drops, and the milker automatically starts the process of detaching gently from that cow. And we're trying to time putting the milking claws on according to when she gets in there and she naturally starts letting her milk down. And within 4.5 minutes, we're pretty well through milking this cow. And so she's right back out here, right back out laying down, associating with her friends, hanging out. And cows like being in these groups. They like being bunched up, so that they're really happy in here.
We're very concerned about environmental issues. Farmers are generally the forerunners of environmental issues. We are trying to preserve the nutrients in the soil from year to year to year, because when I'm dead and gone, I want my grandchildren to be able to farm. This is his legacy. This is what we leave. So we can strip it, burn it to the ground, leave him nothing, or we can make it more fertile. We try to take our nutrients that come from the cows, we bring them back out to the farm, and we put them back onto the fields. So we're actually building the soil rather than stripping the soil down.
Hillcrest, we're lucky. We applied several years ago for the Georgia Governor's Pollution Prevention Award, and we did receive that. It was a great honor to get this from the governor of the state. And since then, we've really worked on being very environmentally conscious. This is a closed loop system that we milk in. And so when I say closed loop, I mean nothing leaves the area. So all this is real important here at Hillcrest, not to let waste get into our local streams and waters. Farmers in Georgia are the first protectors of the environment. We do more. We provide water recharge areas. The forestry people and the farmers of Georgia are on the front lines and do a great job protecting the environment in Georgia. And this is real important to me, my family, and all my friends that farm here in the state. And we got 3 rules we really try here at Hillcrest to get maximum production from our cows. Rule 1 is always cow comfort. Everything we can do to make these girls a little happier, a little more comfortable, we're going to do that. Rule number 2 that we do here is what we call repeatability. Cows thrive on doing the exact same thing 3 times a day, so we really want to throw repetition at them. We're going to use the same type feeds. We're going to be consistent in what we feed them, how we feed them, when we feed them, when we milk them. We try to keep it every 8 hours as precision as we can. And the third thing is we manage by exception. We are looking for that cow that day who is not performing to her expectation. We're going to see why she's not doing it. Does she need a little attention? Something going on that we need to address. So we're constantly looking for those cows to keep our herd healthy, happy, and in maximum production.
Well, from day to day, usually I come in and my first priority is my cows. Herd health is number 1 to me. So the first thing I do is I'll actually come in here to the computer and I'll pull up some spreadsheets to see what cows maybe were low on milk, maybe low on activity, and I'll go out there and I'll get my eyes on those cows. Once I get my eyes on them, I'll see if I need to interact with them at all, whether it's give them fluids, give them any kind of medications or anything like that, just like you do with your own child.
Well, during like this season right here, we're doing hay. I'll help cut the hay. We'll cut the field down, let it dry, and we'll come back, tether it. It usually takes about 2 to 3 days, depending on the variety of grass and what the weather's like. And we'll then go later, when it's dry enough and at the right moisture, we'll bale the hay.
Here at Hillcrest, you can see our cows are all laying on bedded sand. We're going to go in there and groom them where they make little potholes. We'll groom them 3 times a day. And once a day we go on a machine that actually levels everything back out. But they're actually walking on used belting. It's rubber belting so that there's very low impact on their feet and legs, making them a little bit more comfortable. It's like walking on a nice soft carpet with a good padding behind it all day. They really enjoy that. And you can see the sprinklers coming on. It's wetting the cows once every 5 minutes during this hot summer we're having. And the fans are running, cooling our cows. To compete with other parts of the country, we have to think outside the box, do some extra things that they may not have to do in a northern state. We spend a lot of time, money, and effort to keep these cows cool and comfortable in the Georgia heat.
The cows are so easy to manage because they have 3 focuses. They milk, they eat, and they sleep, and that's all they're gonna do, and that's all they want to do. I mean, they're very, very habitual individuals. If I were to single out an individual cow and I were to watch her day in and day out for a week straight, 9 times out of 10, if at 2 o'clock she was standing up and she was eating this afternoon, if you went back to her at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, most likely that cow is standing up and eating. they're on a very strict time schedule.
I also help do some of the preventative maintenance, which is very important on the equipment. It keeps it from breaking in the first place. First of all, you gotta listen to your equipment to know what it sounds like, because you can hear things when they change. You can tell a bearing's going out by sounds, and you gotta look at it. I'm constantly looking behind me and looking at the equipment, make sure everything's turning right, everything sounds right. You gotta be aware of everything that's going on. You gotta be aware of other things in the field, obstacles and that kind of thing, because otherwise it's pretty easy to mess up a piece of equipment.
Well, sometimes it doesn't rain. And I told somebody the other day, I said, somebody ain't living right. I don't know if you need to go or I need to go, but one of us might need to leave town. But yesterday we got a really good rain, and I thank the Lord for it.
There's something new every single day that you're here. Something new, something exciting, something to learn from. That's why I really like working for the family farm. It's just exciting. Every single day you're learning something.
I grew up here on this farm, working from a small child. When I was big enough to tote a bucket to feed a baby calf, I worked with my dad, who worked with his granddad. I was really blessed to have the opportunity to even milk cows with my grandfather for several years.
I had the privilege of working with my grandfather. Most people growing up see their grandfather once a year at Christmas or maybe once a month. I got the privilege of working with my grandfather every single day of the week.
My grandfather instilled in us that work is a good thing and to enjoy your work, but enjoy your work with your family.
Grandpa taught me that if you sell somebody a dozen ears of corn, they pay you the $2, you give them 13 ears. There might be a bad one in the bunch. Always give a little extra. Be sure to give the value.
My dad calls it sweat equity. My dad had all the sweat equity, cleared some of the first land with an old tractor on the back of this farm with helping his dad. And then I've cleared land with my dad that we purchased along the years and saw this land come into production. And it's just a wonderful thing to watch.
Well, you build on the past generation. Every generation is different. And if you don't have the foundation, and it comes with sweat. And that's what I mean by sweat. You don't get there. Nobody gives it to you. You have to earn it. You got to sweat for it.
Because we have family returning to the farm, we're trying to provide them a means to make a living that will also self-sustain itself. We want the business to continue.
And we've been blessed that our children grew up in it, and we paid them starting out $1 a day, and eventually when they were real good and did very good, and the grades stayed up, they got a little bit of a raise.
They're running the business now, and I'm just a helping hand. I went from managing to just a helper, and I'm going to do that as long as I'm on my feet. I'd rather be out working than sitting.
And now I'm working with my daughter and my nephew, along with my brother, to watch them gain skills and do things that they need to effectively manage into the 21st century. It's kind of hard to let go and let other people manage your business that you work for, but my dad did it for us. We're doing it for our kids and giving them a real active role in management decisions.
And it's a big jumbled mess sometimes, but it's family. We love it. Sometimes, yes, we want to beat each other in the head, but that's family. You got to love them and you work with them.
Working with your father is tough. It is very, very tough. He definitely is hardest on me, which I'm okay with. At the time, maybe not, but looking back, after it's all said and done, I want to be the best. So I look at him, I'm like, okay, you're right, and I'll do, whatever he tells me to do, even if I don't quite like the way he's doing it, and I'm like, why don't we do it this way? He'll like, no, we're doing it this way. And then I'll do it that way. And then I've learned to come back and be like, well, hey, teach me why we didn't do it this way and why we did it your way. And he will. And 9 times out of 10, it will definitely make more sense once he explains it to me. So it's been nice overall to work with my father.
It depends on what your family is actually like. Our family, it works pretty good because we all have traits that come together and we get along. And even when you do something that ain't totally right, we pick each other up and pick each other's slack up sometimes, but we build ourselves up together, and it works out pretty good.
We did not try to pressure our children to come back to the farm. And matter of fact, we tried to pressure them to go elsewhere because it is a hard life. It is a stressful life at times, but it is a good life.
I think my grandkids have the heart to do it, and they have the brain to do it. You know, both of my grandkids, they've learned quick. And Martin and is teaching them, still teaching them. I'm probably the fortunate person to have all my family working here at one time, all of them.
You just don't find family farms anymore. Most of the kids that grow up that way think, well, I'm going to the city. But you notice a lot of them that grew up on little farms are now going back out to the country, buying little homes and wanting to live back in the country. It's just a peaceful life. It's a wonderful life. It really is. And with our grandkids, nothing could be better.
Yes, and yeah, I plan to pass the torch on to my kids and hopefully, my grandkids, and keep it going the generations. And I'd like to see a 6th generation, 7th generation in here.
And it's such a rare thing now in a business to be a family business. And farms are some of the best family businesses in the country. So I get to work with my dad still, with my brother, with my daughter, with my nephew, with my sister-in-law, and it's a team effort.
It is a job that I thoroughly enjoy. I think God blessed me to do it. Blesses me every morning to get up and do it. And I hope that He continues to bless me. Someday He may take it away, but as long as He will make me a steward of this land, I will do my best to serve Him. I'm kind of getting off.
They say this is the first generation in the country that is more than 3 generations removed from the farm. So at Hillcrest, we think it's really important we use a Facebook page just so people can get a glimpse of where their Georgia-grown product is coming from. And we think this is important.
Well, we try to produce the absolute highest quality product possible. When people come visit my farm, my #1 goal is for those people to leave the farm feeling really good about the milk I produce.
Milk is one of the most nutritious things that you could ever have. I mean, it's got all the 8 essential nutrients. There is no other product out there like that. That is it. There is none. So to be able to say that I produce that, that's amazing.
What do you get from milk products? You get cheese, yogurt, ice cream, buttermilk. Everybody needs the milk. Milk is a good, healthy food. It's something everybody needs.
Well, I hope that they'll continue to keep this farm intact. I've got my life into this farm, and I'd hate to see it. I hope I never live to see it sold and chopped up.
This generation has to be replaced. My generation will have to be replaced. Every generation has to be replaced, and it's not replaced by the people in the retirement home. It's the people in the schools and the young people that actually replace the older generation.
By sharing this information and putting ourselves out there a little bit and exposing ourselves and saying, hey, come see us. Let us show you what we do at Hillcrest that is exciting, that lets you know where that good dairy product comes from. I think it's just a great thing.
Milk Premium.